comic pages to the silver screen, we break it down what it really means. Debates loading, sparks about to fly. No safe takes when the truth goes left. That culture crossfire, yeah. Caught up in the fandom flame. Crossfire, yeah. Nothing in pop culture safe. Wizard casting truth bombs. Marv bring in the fire. When the heart takes head, you're in the culture crossfire. Wizard spells, monsters roar, breaking down the culture war. When the fandom flames rise higher, you're caught up in the crossfire. Crossfire, caught up in the fandom flame. Crossfire, nothing in pop culture safe. Wizard casting truth bombs. Marv bring in the fire. When the heart takes hit, you're in the culture crossfire. You're caught up in the crossfire.
Oh, welcome everyone to Culture Crossfire along the M4 Empire channel and Real Life Fake Wizards Live. We are simulcasting live this morning with a whole ton of coffee. It is a Donkey Kong mug type day. I'm Marv the Movie Monster Montanero, and I am joined as always by the co-host with the most, the Real Life Fake Wizard, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we're here. What a week it is. It's Mandalorian week. In fact,
It's Mandalorian Day.
It's Mandalorian Day. We just a few hours now, and Marv, the whole world's Star Wars is back. We're back on top.
Oh, we're back,
We've
baby.
never been more back.
We've never been more back. I am getting my adult Happy Meal ready for it, and we're just it is time.
Yes, I have to. We got to crown it up. Crown it up for Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, I might have to get one of those again today for the pro show.
What's crazy is I think, and my brother and I, we talked about this, and we're planning on doing a full product review line for all of the Mandalorian and Grogu product placements. Right. But the best thing to come out of this film happens to be the Burger King Grogu cookie shake. That's it. Not the movie, not the Bath and Body Works soap, but the Burger King Grogu cookie shake happens to be the best thing.
You know what? Like, I actually did like that. Like, I thought it tasted like this is not going to sound appetizing when I say what I feel like it tasted like, but trust me, it was good. It was like a liquefied Lucky Charms marshmallow.
That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. That is exactly it.
right? Like, I the first time I took a sip of it, I'm like, it kind of tastes like Lucky Charms. So.
And it's going away soon, because the movie will be out, and it's
this movie's
too long.
This movie's going to be forgotten by Wednesday, so we have to get it while we can get it. We're going to talk a lot about that, Wizard, but before we do that, before we get into the nitty gritty of it all, we have a lot to talk about with the Mandalorian and Grogu, the box office projections that are looking very weak, and a whole bunch of other stuff to do with that. But also, we've got things like Damon Lindelof, talking about what his Rey movie was going to be, and surprise, surprise, it was going to be an attack on the fans. We have Millie Alcock, for the Supergirl actress, who is attacking the fans still, and just making everything really, really great for James Gunn and his fledgling DC universe. We've got a Masters of the Universe final trailer and early reviews that have stirred some issues. So we've got a lot to do, but first we got to get to the chat. A few super chats here. Mark Fields over on my channel for 199 says for the whiz. No, hold on, that's on your channel.
Oh, that was
my channel was positive vibes to you all. Thank you, Mark Fields. Appreciate that. And over on your channel,
for the whiz, positive vibes to you and your chat. Mark Fields, thank you for blessing both of our channels.
Yes,
this morning.
Mark Fields is an equal opportunity distributor of positive vibes, and I like that. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Also over on your channel.
Giovanni Garcia for 5 says, whiz, my boy. Hey, I gave you a shout out on Jay Dryer's stream, bro. I'm doing my part. Christ protect you, brother. Christos Anesti. Hey, appreciate that.
That's great.
I'm going to have to check it out. Right. I'm going to have to check it out. I got to make a note here. I'm going to write it down right now to check that out. I appreciate that. And thanks for being with us this morning.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Also over on your channel. Not a super chat, but I wanted to highlight it.
Right. Tomas Mendoza says, hi, Wizard. It was my birthday this week. I discovered your channel recently. I've been really enjoying your content. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
my man. And I'm glad to have you here. And hope we're having a good time.
There you go. All right. So we got some supers out of the way. We will stop for super chats. After but in between stories. But for now, Wizard, we have got to. Well, actually, where do you want to start? You want to start off with the Mandalorian?
I think we can, because we're going to get into that and we're going to talk about it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should do some of the smaller ones first.
You want to do Rey, or do you want to do Supergirl first?
Let's do Rey.
Or Masters of the Universe.
I can't stand Damon Lindelof, so let's just we'll get the rant out on him first.
Yep. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the culture. Damon Lindelof talking about this Star Wars Rey movie that he was hired to write and fired from writing. And surprise, surprise, Wizard, this is not something that was going to be kind to Star Wars fans. Believe it or not, what we can perceive to be the villains in this would have probably been people like you and me, people who like the original Star Wars. So, we got to dive into this because what he says is so... there's so much transparency here about where Lucasfilm's heads were at, where Kathleen Kennedy's laser focus was. And remember, this is a time post-sequel trilogy in which they were already like, okay, this is already faltering. We need to do something. We need to fix this. And Kathleen Kennedy's, apparent plan here was to fix it by doing the same thing all over again.
Yeah, and look, Damon Lindelof doesn't have a good track record.
No.
He's produced mostly crap throughout most of his career, and the fact that he was even going to be involved in Star Wars makes me take pause. Even right now we have the upcoming Lantern show, which we know is already going to be a disaster. I can't imagine, Marv, what really could have been worse, The Last Jedi or a Damon Lindelof Rey project.
Oh, I agree. I think Damon Lindelof Rey project would have been so much worse. So for those of you that are not familiar with Damon Lindelof, let me explain something to you. You all know who J.J. Abrams is, right? You all know that he is the supreme hack, the perfect hack that descended on Hollywood, doling out mystery boxes to studio after studio, sitting back and watching while people guessed about what was going to be the answer to the great mysteries that he put out. Also, he was himself guessing because he had no idea because he's a hack. He took a machete to Star Trek, came into Star Wars, did the safest movie possible with The Force Awakens. It was actually well received. Then along came Rian Johnson, who kicked in the door and burned everything down. And then J.J. Abrams returned to try to burn down everything Rian Johnson did in The Rise of Skywalker, a movie that cost $600 million and actually lost money for Disney. Damon, now here's the thing. Much like the concept of sin from Final Fantasy X, J.J. Abrams descends upon the land causing havoc in the entertainment space. But also like the monster of sin, lesser, smaller hacks fall off of him and attack the populace through like individual cities. So Damon Lindelof is one of those. The two idiots that are currently destroying Tolkien's legacy over at Amazon are also J.J. Abrams' disciples. These J.J. Abrams' disciples show up in the entertainment world and they just start destroying everything in their path, and they get these opportunities because they're J.J. Abrams disciples. The guys who did Once Upon a Time, J.J. Abrams disciples. The guys the guys doing Rings of Power, J.J. Abrams disciples who didn't have any real credits to their name.
Right.
And we're handed the most expensive thing. Yeah, so this is the J.J. Abrams problem. But let's listen to what Damon Lindelof has to say about his Star Wars project.
And just to talk about the bantha in the room, I was fired off of a Star Wars movie. So asking me, they asked me, what do you think a Star Wars movie should be? And I said, here's what it should be. And they said, great, you're hired. And then 2 years later, I was
let's see what he thought it should be.
Fired. And so I was wrong, at least through that prism. But what we were attempting to do, my partner Justin Brick Gibson and Raina McClendon and I, what we were attempting to do was to have this conversation in the movie, which is to say there is a force of nostalgia and there is a force of revision, and they are at odds with one another.
Oh, there we go. There it is. There it is.
But notice there's a very particular word choice. See, word choice matters in stuff like this because he's revealing a truth here. The word he uses is revision, not anything else. Like revision is an adjustment and a change of the past for what you believe needs to be revised, right? It's not an addition to, it's not a continuation of, it's a change to the past. It is the destruction of what came before in place of something else.
Let the past die.
Word choice.
Let the past die, Wizard. Kill it if you have to.
Well, they killed it all right. They did kill it.
He's not done.
And let's do the Protestant Reformation inside Star Wars.
Ah!
And it didn't
Sounds
work,
amazing.
And so,
let's do the Protestant Reformation inside Star Wars. That's what everyone wants. That's what's going to bring people back into the box office. Let's have Martin Luther do the Protestant. Let's have Ray be Martin Luther and tack the 95 plot holes to the door of Lucasfilm and do the Star Wars Protestant Reformation. This absolute smoldering retard.
Look, man, I'm at a lack of words on that. I'm baffled that that's the way that this guy would phrase it and frame it.
The
as
Protestant
Reformation. There is truly pure hatred for what George Lucas did,
100%.
for what George Lucas created, but it's not George. They don't hate George Lucas, the man. They also don't hate Star Wars. They hate you.
Yep, they hate Star Wars fans.
They hate you so much that they want to dismantle it and deconstruct it and revise it, destroy it, and they've done that. They've done that. But this is just. They're just confessing it now. That's what it didn't matter who you brought in, Marv. It could have been Rian Johnson, Damon Lindelof, anybody. They were all pre-programmed to do this.
They were like, well, Star Wars is huge and it's always going to be huge. It's always going to generate billions. So if I can turn Star Wars to mirror me and my worldview and everything that I think about politics or the world or gender or, whatever, then people will still show up and I'll be vindicated. I won't be a failure. I'll be a big boy. I'll be able to sit in my big boy chair. And Green Lantern, oh my gosh, the green is stupid in Green Lantern and the Star Wars is stupid in Star Wars. Like, why do we need to have stars or wars? I think we all agreed that all of the stars and all of the warring was the problem. It was stupid, so we had to cut it. What we need is the Protestant Reformation.
Why are any of these people working in franchises? Clearly you hate them. I think I got to do a video on this. Somebody's got to do a video on this. Why do all of these people work in franchises when they absolutely hate the source material?
It is, it boils down to a quote from The Dark Knight. It's, what did you want to prove? That deep down, everyone's as ugly as you? That's it. We need to take the things you love and twist it into our own image. That's what they want. That's what they're going for. That's what this is. The Protestant Reformation. Can you imagine? That's what Star Wars fans want. They want to go into a theater, pay money to watch a character they despise tell them that they're trash. And, some of you might be like, Marv, you don't know what side they're on with the it might be, both sides are good. I don't think that the J.J. Abrams disciple working for Kathleen Kennedy is really painting the original Star Wars fans in a positive light through this Protestant Reformation.
I'm I'm blown away. Honestly, I'm blown away. I can't stand these guys. I can't stand this twerp. And there's no upside to this. There's no outcome. If you're absolutely doing things that are just there to antagonize the audience, do you think you deserve money for that? Like, do you think you deserve audiences to, hey, you made a movie that insults me, my intelligence, my belief system, my morals, and here's $25 for me to see it in IMAX, for me to experience this lecture. Like, I have choice words I'd like to say, and if we weren't live streaming right now, I'd be using them. And they're not nice. They're not nice, Marv.
No, not nice at all.
And these guys, and
they're
look,
terrible.
This is why, like, the biggest thing on my channel is we're like, we need people to create. We need to teach people, and if that means, like, I got to be the one to do it or facilitate doing it, I don't care, because we need the next generation to replace these sacks of shit. They need to go. They need to go. And the only way we're going to do that is if we empower the upcoming generation. It doesn't need to be us. It doesn't need to be you at home. It needs to be the youth of today need to take over. The youth of today, the high schoolers of today need to be empowered to fight back and take over all of this, because this isn't just an attack on us. This is an attack on storytelling as a medium, not of just entertainment, but also of human survival.
So we've been talking a lot about the barrier to entry, right? We've been talking about the barrier to entry to get into Hollywood, to get into movie making, to get into TV, even into writing books or whatever. Here, these are the people that are able to actually get through that barrier. These are the people. This is what Hollywood wants. That's why what you're saying is so important. Why it's important to write your book. Why it's important to make your movie. Why it's important to do your animation and get it up on platforms like YouTube or Rumble or wherever it is you got to put it. Because we need to push back against the barrier to entry that only lets in people like Damon Lindelof, people who J.J. Abrams has decided deserves to be in Hollywood. And this guy gets so much work. He works on everything now. And like, I love that his comments on Green Lantern, on Lanterns and on the Green, backfired so spectacularly that even, what's his face? Grant Morrison came out of the woodwork to be like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like,
but you know what, though? Do you know what this guy proved with that? And he's already done it before. He did it with Watchmen.
He's retarded.
He's proved that he is a worm.
Mm-hmm.
If he is going to work in the shadows. He's going to do things against you, the audience. And then if you call him out on it, or if somebody higher than him on the totem pole, the status totem pole, calls him out on it, he's going to go, oh no, I'm just a little bean. I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little Damon Lindelof. But secretly, this is the worst kind of adversary you can have. And Hollywood puts him up, and they all do this. He's just the one that's gotten caught most recently, feigning, oh no, I'm just such a little guy. I love Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's my favorite character. I love him so much. Again, no. Here's the other thing. This guy doesn't do original stuff. He's not like, hey, I've got a great detective serial that I want to get out there, or I've got a rom-com that I want to write. He is always injected into franchises. Green Lantern, Watchmen, Star Wars. Ever since Lost, which Lost was an original IP that they all worked on, and then they all just started infecting established IP. and like just create your own thing, dude. If this is what you want to do, if you want to be a deconstructionist, if you want to make a statement about sci-fi fans, and have the Protestant Reformation of science fiction in general, go make that movie. Don't call it Star Wars. Don't you dare. And Kathleen Kennedy was all too happy to let him in the door. And you gotta think that 2 years later, he says, so he's hired to write this, I would say probably, so when does she make that announcement? 2023, right? Was the Star Wars Celebration? So let's say that this wasn't a knee-jerk decision, right? And they hired him in 2022. That means he's fired. So it's 2022 to 2023. He's fired 2 years later. That's 2024 to 2025. That's the point in time where we're post-Acolyte. And everyone pretty much agrees that Disney went, no more of this crap.
Right. So he survived long enough for yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that timeline works out. It would have been around the Acolyte.
Was the Acolyte 2024 or was the Acolyte 2025? Well, it had to be 2024, right?
24. It was 24.
Yeah, because that was like right when I was starting my channel.
That's when I started mine too.
Yeah.
I started with the Acolyte. But you know what, Marv? Hearing what he says here, it dawns on me. It's like the goal is we're going to come in and we're going to tear down what was and replace it with something else. They did that. It just wasn't done by Damon Lindelof.
No,
they did do that.
Yeah.
So for him to come in and what another element to this is if they were to saying that he was too extreme. Oh my good gosh, because what they did was extreme. What they succeeded in doing was extreme. And it makes me think, like, is this just all of Hollywood in totality is hatred for the audience? And the answer is yes, but I don't want to face that. And I wish we had more empirical data to prove. Like, I wish we had like clinical empirical data to just flat out prove these people are bad for you. They're like this mindset. It's bad for business. It's bad for you as a person. It's bad for mental health. It's bad for humanity as a progressing like civilization. This is bad for us. Not just for Star Wars and not just Marvel or Disney or whatever the heck. This mindset of anti-humanism, because that's what it is bad for us.
Yeah. You think about this, like the sequel trilogy, what it did. The first one was, I would say, probably for the fans to an extent, but they were already starting to subvert fans, right? They were like, well, you think that it's going to be former Stormtrooper becomes a Jedi, but we're just going to give you a New Hope again. And by the way, surprise, surprise, we're not going to actually put this in the trailer because nobody will come see it, but the Jedi is the girl. That's who it's going to be, instead of being the former Stormtrooper the way you all thought it was going to be. I was excited for former Stormtrooper becomes a Jedi as the elevator pitch of this movie. Then we got The Last Jedi, which was basically like antagonistic to everyone. Your hero's a sad sack loser. Everything you thought from the first movie is dumb. I'm gonna have emo Vader give an entire speech about how everything that you love is stupid and you have to let go of it to embrace the new stuff. Then we're gonna talk about how the rebellion and the Empire all buy from the same horrible people, and they're all the same because we go to Canto Bight and we have to learn all this stuff about how crappy the Resistance and the Rebellion are. I cannot stand it, dude. I cannot stand it. And that's where they were. And so then they did the Acolyte, and she thought that the way to keep going was to stay the course, was to once again do a movie starring Rey that attacked the fans. And then Disney, you gotta think Disney stepped in and was like, or I would say Alan Bergman stepped in because he's the one that pulled the plug on the Acolyte. I think Alan Bergman stepped in and was like, you are absolutely not doing this again. And that's when it was, all of a sudden, the Rey movie stops. They hired the Peaky Blinders guy, then he left. Now it's just kind of in limbo where everything else exists. They canceled the Acolyte. They rejected the hunt for Ben Solo, and that's where we're at right now. But it's too little too late. She has done irreparable harm to this franchise. I think if there's ever going to be any kind of comeback, it's going to take a very long. It's going to take 10 years of projects that hit creatively. Even if like it's going to take Andor level projects, nothing but that for a decade to get people back into Star Wars.
That's not going to be enough because the normies have checked out. And because you know what's crazy is, look, you could put out what they've put out, and you're going to have people like us who, we were in the Star Wars, we were in the thick of it, in the trenches, and we're disgruntled, right? Where I would say we're upset, we're hurt, even betrayed, I would describe it. But you know what? People like us don't make $1 billion at the box office. You know who does? Normies. You need to have normal, regular folks willing and able and interested to go see your stuff. And Star Wars being as big as it was, they went to see all the sequel films. However, normies, whether they know it or not, you can't pull a fast one on the normal folks. Everybody thinks that normies are stupid. Normies are not stupid. They're very intelligent. They're just emotionally detached from fandom. They're very intelligent. And here's the truth. Whether they can express it or not, or whether they even care to express it, they feel boredom too easily. And it's almost like an instinct with these people. The more I study normies, the more I realize, even just from marketing, like from a 10-year profession in marketing, when they realize that something is bad for them, they label it as boring, right? Or it's something that they're not interested in anymore, it's like an instinct with them, and they've moved on, and they're not coming back because Star Wars is lame and boring and for nerds now. It's for weird people. It's those Disney people that are strange, and they are strange now. Now the Disney people are very strange, and they don't want to be associated with that. They're not interested in that. So yeah, Damon Lindelof, make your movie. I say go for it. I actually think they should rehire him and make the movie because you and I will get to we will get to tear it limb from limb.
Absolutely.
And I am ready for, and we'll talk about it more in a minute, but like I am ready for the revenge phase of fandom for Star Wars. I'm here for it, and I'm excited.
Well, there you go, guys. Damon Lindelof was going to take a machete to Star Wars. Thankfully, it didn't happen, but who knows what is next for this franchise. All right, back to the culture. Okay, we got a bunch of super chats here. Over on my channel, we got Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle for 2, saying, good day all. Good day to you, Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle. Good to see you here, my friend. Always appreciate when you stop by. And then we've also got Spring 91 Bear for $2. Any bets Colbert will be the next Ellen? In that he's going to vanish entirely from the conversation, or that it's going to come out that he's a terrible person?
He's not going anywhere, and I don't think it's going to come out he's a terrible person. We already know he's not a good guy. Right.
But yeah, well, he's writing that Lord of the Rings movie, so he's going to be involved in things like that.
Right. He's not.
I love that he was so like offended that people were mad that he's writing Lord of the Rings, and he was just like, I'm a Lord of the Rings super fan. You all know this, and I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not what anyone doubts. Anyone doubts your ability to make this about anything but Trump.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a Lord of the Rings super fan. I would never try to write anything that should be considered canon to the Tolkien legacy ever. At most, and I would also say I'm intimidated by it. Is at most I would run a D&D game set inside of Middle Earth, and it would be like the players are a B team running a mission that runs parallel to something like you're in Osgiliath and you need to help people escape as it's being sacked.
I'm a Lord of the Rings super fan who was a professional ghostwriter for years and wrote over 30 novels. And I wouldn't do that.
Right.
I would never presume to lay my hands upon the sacred text. The most I would ever do, like what you're saying, like a story like Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War, where it's set in Middle Earth, but it's in no way canon, and it's just meant to be fun. Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War takes a machete to the canon, but at the same time, you're just like, I don't care because it's just like a fun game with a cool system.
Shadow of Mordor, the first one was okay. It was like in line with the movies enough, and it was. I thought it was cool. It was a good explanation for some missing pieces from the films, from the Peter Jackson films. And then Shadow of War is just like, no.
Isildur is one of the 9.
Like, one of the, yeah.
Helm Hammerhand is one of the 9. Like, you know,
2 Asian women are also part of the 9.
Yes, the Eye of Sauron is actually Sauron fighting Celebrimbor.
I see, part like that was a little silly fun. You know, why would he stay trapped up there? Oh, that's a good explanation. He's perpetually fighting Celebrimbor.
Yeah. All right, over on your channel.
Yes, Archimedes for a 20 banger says, for the beard and good morning. Hope you're doing good. And are there RTS games on your site? There are RTS games on fakeportal.com, which is our indie site to find indie games. It's a discovery tool for indie games. There are RTS games there. I need to check. I don't know how many we have, but there's a few. Marv, are you looking forward to the Star Wars Zero Company RTS that's coming later this year?
I have not heard about that.
Yeah, that's because there's been practically zero marketing around it. But yeah, there's a new strategy game coming out, and that's pretty much all we're getting from Star Wars.
That sounds wonderful. That's exactly what I want instead of the next Cal Kestis game. Over on your channel as well.
Giovanni Garcia for a 20 banger says, the problem is these writers have been told their entire career, make the story that you want to see, but they don't realize that the advice only applies to original creations, not as a tool to dismantle.
And I'm gonna say something maybe a little, look, if you're writing like a novel that you're just gonna put out because it's a passion project and you're putting it out on Amazon or whatever, or trying to pitch it around, write what you want to see. But when you're working with hundreds of millions of dollars of shareholder money, you make product for the audience. You need a demographic study. You need to know who it is you're writing for and what they want. That's the problem, man. So much of Hollywood now is that one scene from Clerks where Randall says, man, this job would be so great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
But also, here's the other side of this, right? Only create make the story you want to see. Mm-hmm. They don't realize that that applies to original creations. They do realize it. We just heard it with Damon Lindelof. They do realize it. They do know. They are aware. Here's the thing: if they were to make original creations, if Damon Lindelof was to come in and make something original, it's not going to get seen. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to watch it. Nobody's interested. It's not going to make money. And that means you're only going to be able to make 1, 2, maybe 3 of them before you lose complete credibility because no one's going to be interested. So these writers admittedly hijack legacy IP to inject their sensibilities and their own stories into legacies because there's no other medium where we would give a shit what they have to say.
Right, correct.
It wasn't for Ryan Johnson what did he do before? He did Looper. That's the only thing that he's known for prior to The Last Jedi. And after that, he's been doing the Knives Out franchise with Netflix. So he used the death of Star Wars that he triggered to springboard his career into something else where people pay attention to him. But yeah, it's they know exactly what they're doing. But also, Giovanni Garcia also sent in a sticker, a Press F sticker for 10 jewels over on mobile. We see that coming in here. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. The stickers and the jewels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wish it came in on. We don't see it on StreamYard. I gotta try to catch it on the studio here.
Yeah, I got the studio open on my end as well. All right, Wizard, we have got to move on because we have got another story with a brand new friend for us, somebody that I think we're going to be spending a lot of time with, over the next 6 months to a year.
I hope not.
Oh no! I think this is going to be our new bestie. This is going to be this is going to be the person who fills the bank accounts of many a content creator. So let's get back to the culture. Supergirl star Millie Alcock just can't stop. She is going off on the fans again, specifically mocking Christian dads, and says it's okay to piss off the right people. So guys, we're going to talk about that today because James Gunn cannot be, well, you know what? James Gunn probably is thrilled with that messaging, but the higher ups at Warner Brothers and Paramount, who will probably own Warner Brothers by the time Man of Tomorrow comes out, cannot be thrilled that this is one of the people they have hitched the DC universe to. Is she the next Rachel Zegler? Let's find out today. Let's dive in. Let's have a look-see. The backlash surrounding Supergirl star Millie Alcock is heating up once again after a lengthy new interview with Variety. Now, this was a cover interview with Variety. Right. This was a massive interview with them. And Wizard, it is the most sycophantic, like bowing, scraping, worshipful celebrity interview I've ever seen.
Of course, I expect nothing less.
In the interview, she doubled down on previous criticism of fans, mocked critics that she described as dad of four Christian, and declared, quote, if you're pissing the right kind of people off, you're doing okay. The interview intended to position Alcock as the edgy new face of DC Supergirl instead reignited criticism about that modern Hollywood continues to frame fan disagreement as toxicity while dismantling large sections of the audience outright. So, in the interview, Variety frames criticism surrounding the series as part of a toxic subset of fandom, writing, despite the show's success, as the first season rolled out, something shitty happened on the internet. A toxic subset of House of the Dragon fandom pitted the younger actors, who became immediate fan favorites, against their adult counterparts. It should be noted, and this is me saying this here, that fans preferring one cast over another on a television show isn't an ugly sentiment. It's fans, aka customers, making their preferences known. As Henry Cavill once very famously said, you know what? I'm not even gonna say what he said, even though it's here in the article. I'm gonna play you what he said because I believe I have it as a clip. I'm pretty sure I have it as a clip.
Because it's a good clip.
It is a good clip, and I do typically keep it handy. Nope, you know what? I don't think I have it as a clip anymore. I think I may have deleted it because of space
Storage?
issues. Because StreamYard only lets you have so many things.
Your StreamYard's terrible.
Yeah, no, I kept the Kathleen Kennedy one, and I got rid of the Henry Cavill one. All right, so I'm just going to read it then. He said, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset, especially when you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on The Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate. And, Henry Cavill, ladies and gentlemen. Henry Cavill.
Superman away from him.
After that interview, Hollywood kind of turned on him.
Yes. Yeah, he's been hanging out with Guy Ritchie ever since. The Warhammer project has been locked up in Hollywood purgatory. Mm-hmm. And, he's doing a Highlander movie, but if that Highlander movie doesn't do gangbusters, I think we're saying goodbye to Henry Cavill.
I really hope not, because he is somebody that we need out there, man. He is the voice of the fans. I still my feelings on the Snyder movies. I don't like them, but I still think that there was a great Superman buried in there. We got to see it a couple times when there's moments where when he flies for the first time in Man of Steel, and he has that moment where he smiles and laughs and he's just enjoying the feeling. I'm like, that's Superman. All right, cool. He's being Superman there.
We keep running into that though. Where there's good actors and terrible writing.
David Cornsweet, great Superman, terrible movie.
Yeah.
Because my favorite moment with that so eloquently describes the problem with the Snyderverse Superman was Batman versus Superman, when Lois is like, Clark, people died, and he goes, I don't care. And I'm like, oh, like Superman.
A very Superman thing to say.
Yes. That this is not dissecting Zack Snyder. That's for another day. The piece then, of course, escalates the rhetoric further by framing fan disagreements through a gendered lens. They say the entire point of House of the Dragon is the tragedy that these two young women who love one another fall out because of the men around them want them to be divided, to serve their own patriarchal Game of Thronesy agendas. For many of, but I love how it's patriarchal Game of Thronesy agendas when like the two main Game of Thronesy agenda drivers were two women.
Yeah, it's two women in this show.
But not just is it two women in this show, which by the way, they're not being like these two women in House of the Dragon are not being manipulated by men.
Right.
They are just turning on each other. They are the heads of their respective houses. But I'm talking about like you want to say Game of Thronesy. Game of Thrones had Cersei Lannister versus Daenerys Targaryen.
Right.
And that was always the struggle there. Cersei Lannister, even when she was the queen, was still pretty much running things. But for many readers, however, this once again crossed the line from criticizing online harassment into broadly painting fan criticism, particularly criticism from male audiences, as inherently toxic or misogynistic. Now, here is where she doubles down. At the time, so there, remember a few months back, she had a Vanity Fair interview where she said,
"Oh yeah,
simply existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on. We have become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies." When discussing the backlash to those remarks of Variety, she complained that people interpreted her comments as criticism directed at men. "I didn't even say men. I said people. And they got so angry. I was like, you're proving my point. You're proving my point. If that's proving your point, then you were talking about men." Am I wrong there?
I can't wait for this movie to tank. I just can't wait for this movie to tank because there's gonna be the spin, there's gonna be all the pomp and circumstance, right? But when the dust settles, we're gonna look back on this. Actually, it's gonna happen in real time because look at Snow White. She's Snow Whiting right now. She is Rachel Zeglering right now. Every time she's opening her mouth, she's antagonizing the audience that needs to be interested to be going to pay to see her movie. Her movie that is quite a big budget, by the way, and needs to make quite a bit of money to be a success.
Yep, it's not going to be. But like, I didn't say I was talking about men when I said that people want to have ownership of women's bodies. You know who has ownership?
About?
You want to know who has ownership of women's bodies? Women! So, to criticize somebody who has become very comfortable at having a weird ownership of women's bodies, you are obviously criticizing men, you short bus reject.
Oh.
Like, what the frick, man? Like,
look. I want to take it from a different spot. If you were to say, let's say she has all these beliefs, right? You know, she isn't happy with the Christian dad with 4 kids. She thinks that there's problems. Okay, go be a politician.
yeah.
Go do politics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done taking ideological or political or any kind of ideology, philosophy from actors and actresses. And isn't she like 23, 24?
26, I think.
You've done nothing.
Nothing.
You've done nothing. You have no position to be belaboring down.
You played a teenage uncle fucker. That's about it.
You did a single show, and then you're already Supergirl here. You know, shouldn't the whole thing be just empowering young girls to like go be the best they can be, which is something we desperately
you know what?
need
That
right
doesn't
now.
that
Like, we
doesn't even
desperately
need
that.
But that doesn't even need to be the thing. It should just be empowering people. It should just be giving a story about heroism. Xena was inspiring to me as a kid, even though it was a woman, because Xena and Buffy embodied actual things that like actual intangibles that could be applied to everyone. Kindness, compassion, leadership qualities, not backing down, bravery. Like, these are things that can speak to everyone. I'm so tired of every time it's a female superhero, they're like, this is for the girls. I'm like, they don't want it. They want The Devil Wears Prada. They want Barbie. They don't want Supergirl. And she came out on Superman Day. Remember when she came out on Superman Day and was like, this year, Superman Day is also about Supergirl. No, it's not!
Yeah, no, it's not.
Because there'd be no Supergirl if there wasn't Superman. What you should have said was that this year on Superman Day, we acknowledge and pay homage to the original superhero, because without him, there'd be no Supergirl. That's what you say. Not they're on the same level. There's going to be so much Supergirl is better than Superman in this DC universe. So much of it.
Let them have it. Let them have it. Let them have it. Because it's just going to be diminishing returns at the box office. Toy sales will go down, which, I don't know. How were the toy sales the last time around with Superman? Were they good enough? I'm asked. No. That's a general question. I don't know.
Not that I heard.
No.
I mean, I gave them credit because they actually put out toys and toy commercials and stuff for it.
Yeah, they weren't that good, though.
They weren't that good.
Cheap. The toys are cheap, dude.
So she says people having weird ownership of women's bodies, and then she's mad that... So then she's saying, like, oh, I didn't mean it was men. But then when men got angry, she said, you're proving my point. What a ridiculously dumb statement. Maybe the dumbest thing a Hollywood celebrity has said in the last 7 days. But I was going to say in a long time, but it's really not the dumbest thing one of them has said in a long time. You know what? Not even in the last 7 days. The View just had a meltdown because prescription drugs are affordable for people. So no, it's not even the dumbest thing anyone said, but it's still pretty freaking dumb. It's top 5 of the last week. So in one of the most eyebrow-raising moments of the interview, she mocked the kinds of people she sees criticizing her online. She goes, I guess women know that this is just how it's always been. Unfortunately, she said, once more drawing that gendered line in the sand, and then dismissed critics as anonymous internet users. Said it's from a lot of people whose profiles have no photo, who are burner accounts, or someone's name and then data for Christian, which is hilarious to me. Yes, because the one thing that Christian fathers are not allowed to have is opinions on popular culture. Apparently believing that Jesus Christ is the Savior completely negates any opinions that you have about comic books, because, one cancels the other out. But she goes, but I mean, whose opinion do you really care about? If you're pissing off the right kind of people, you're doing okay.
So you're knowingly and actively, passionately antagonizing your audience. Now, look.
You know what? This isn't even a Zegler comment as much as this is like and I know she's turned it around, and I'm happy for her, and I'm all here for her redemption arc. This is a Brie Larson
Zegler?
comment. No.
Oh. I was like, wait a second. Zegler didn't turn nothing around.
No, Brie Larson. It's a Brie Larson comment. Because this is the kind of comment that Brie Larson used to make, where I don't care what a 40-year-old white dude had to say about A Wrinkle in Time. It's not for him. That's exactly what this quote is.
Yeah, but the 40-year-old white dude that has the 4 kids, that he needs to take his children, his family, to see your movie. You do care about his opinion. You are supposed to care about what they have to say, because those are the people you need to win over too. But that's, I mean, all I could say is I hope the worst for these business ventures. That's it. I wish them well, but I wish the worst for their business ventures.
Here's another point that we make here, Wizard. Not the best time to anger the DC fan base, because Alcock's comments come at a delicate time for DC's new cinematic universe. Alienating audiences and disparaging fans is never the best strategy when the DCU, especially when the DCU is struggling to justify its existence. The Variety interview practically makes this point for you. With an interesting admission about the performance of James Gunn's DC up to this point. While discussing the pressure surrounding Supergirl, Variety acknowledged that James Gunn's Superman was far from the massive success many expected. They said last summer's Superman, Gunn and Safran's first official movie in the DCU, made more than $600 million at the box office, which was considered a promising beginning, but not a home run. That's Variety for this was an atrocious flop. And guys, we remember Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos, while under oath during the proposed acquisition of Warner Brothers by Netflix, brought up Superman as an example of a movie that lost money. And he knows because they were buying the company, supposedly, or trying to, they were given access to the financials. He said this under oath to the federal government, Wizard.
Yep. And what a devious way to do it. Like I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect the hustle there of Superman didn't make money.
Yep. But here's the thing, DC is doubling down on this girl. Like they are all in on her. They want Supergirl to be a major part of this because Peter Safran said in this Variety interview that she's not a one-off experiment or side character. The studio's already heavily positioning her as a cornerstone of the franchise's future. He said Supergirl will return in Man of Tomorrow, emphasizing that she is a major part of what we're doing. I'm sure Disney had plans for her too.
Look,
didn't work out that way, did it?
Maybe I'm old school with what I'm about to say. I have opinions on things. Marv, you have opinions on things. Everybody at home, you guys have opinions on things. Mm-hmm. But and for us and who we are, I'm dressed like a wizard on a morning here. We're doing this video. I'm allowed to be able to voice my opinions, and then if I voice my opinions, I accept and acknowledge the ramifications of what people do when they hear my opinions. Okay, I have to be aware of that. In this case, there are hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. And it is your job to not only act in the movie, but then to sell the movie. You are a marketer. If you're an actor, you're also a salesman for that movie. It is your job to get butts in seats because the studios bet on you to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars, whether it's Zegler or Brie Larson. See, that's Brie Larson turned it around for Mario. And God bless her for that. She figured it out. Whether she believes what she's saying or not, I'm still a little skeptical. I don't think she's bought in. I actually sell.
Yeah, I know. I think that she's actually showing us who she really is now, just based on things that I've heard from people that have met her. But she's showing us who she is now, and I think that Disney was pushing her to be the activist because that was what they thought would sell at the time.
Wait a second. So are you telling me Disney would negatively impact the career of a young woman in Hollywood?
Go
Say
figure.
It ain't so, Marv.
Well,
Say it ain't so.
And I think Zegler was also pushed into this, but I think Zegler is a true believer. I think everything Zegler said about the original Snow White was Disney-approved talking points, but the thing is she doubled down on it. And she has since doubled down on everything and just completely, doing interviews where she compares herself to priceless works of art and things like that. Millie Alcock, we are in an era now where that this kind of rhetoric doesn't work.
But
and you're doing it anyway.
If Millie Alcock, you're Supergirl. You are like, okay, Supergirl, maybe not nearly as important as Wonder Woman or Superman or Batman, but you're Supergirl, all right? People like Supergirl. You're supposed to be an inspiration to the young, not only girls, but also the young boys of today too. You're supposed to, everybody, it's Supergirl. You're supposed to be inspiring. Millie Alcock might vehemently hate the audience, may hate us, and may hate the fact that we're talking about it. And I think that's fine. And maybe to some extent, maybe that's healthy. It's not, but it's not in the way it is now. But maybe to some extent, having a disparity there of ideology is a good thing. Maybe. Let's just be as open, generally minded as possible.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it, though.
Yeah, man.
Don't talk about it. You're supposed to be I'm Millie Alcock. I'm Supergirl. Supergirl is for everybody. Supergirl is the hero for everybody. Superman is the hero for everybody. Batman's a hero for everybody. The best values of humanity, the best values of both men and women, regardless of the gender of the hero. And here is constantly berating the audience for not being for not being a woman, frankly.
Well, and for not just blindly so they actually give a quote from one of the producers of House of the Dragon, where he literally says, like he talks about the discourse around House of the Dragon, and he said people should have just, like the discourse, like the only conversation around the show should have been how good it was or something like that. It was something along those lines. Like it should have been like praising what we were doing. And I'm like, that's not how this works. A restaurant, like if you get food at a restaurant and it's terrible and you write a review that says this food tastes like vomit, or like this tasted like crap, is the chef then going to go online and be like, toxic diners are coming after me, this is misogyny and racism? Like, no, you were served a product, you didn't like it. If you buy something off Amazon and you take it out of the box and it is either A, not what you ordered, or B, something that instantly breaks, and you give it a 1-star review, you are not toxic. You are a customer giving feedback. It is your right. This is made for you. These Hollywood celebrities have this opinion of themselves that it is their right to be rich and famous, and you are required to consume the content and respond only positive because they deserve it, because it's their dream. When The Rock's daughter came at me because I said she didn't have charisma, which by the way she doesn't, people were saying to me, how dare you, this is her dream. I'm like, I don't give a flying crap if it's her dream. It could be my dream to play shortstop for the Yankees, but at the end of the day, if I sucked at it, I don't think they're going to keep me there. Like, should I be the shortstop for the New York Yankees because it was my dream to be? By the way, it was never my dream to be the shortstop for the New York Yankees, but it was the most ridiculous thing I could think of at the moment.
Oh no!
You are not entitled to opportunity. You work for opportunity. You earn opportunity. You appeal to an audience for opportunity. It's why you don't ignore the chat when you're having these live streams, because we are here for you. We're serving you guys, and when you guys give us feedback, we don't just say, "Oh, they're being toxic, I'm not gonna," we actually consider your feedback when we're making content, because we know we're making content for you. You are the consumer. We are the provider.
And you know why? And I guess I think we could resolve it with this. Do you know why the chef isn't able to go and attack the family that didn't have a good meal? Because there's not enough money in play. Mm-hmm. Because that chef would lose everything if they were to retaliate against that. But that's also because they're the business. And if a family comes into the restaurant, and granted, maybe they come in bad faith. Most people do come in good faith, though. And some people are difficult. Everybody in the restaurant industry knows how difficult people are.
Yeah.
But it is still your job to serve the customer. And because it's a small scale number of dollars, there's too much friction there where you can't retaliate like
Agreed.
that. And you're not supposed to, because that's your job, is to run the honest business. If you sell a service, people are going to respond to it. Hollywood, there's too much money. We have funded them. Avengers Endgame was a mistake. We have fed the egos of this beast, and now it's gone on for far too long. Mm-hmm. And they think they're unstoppable. So now we get this 26-year-old Supergirl actress who thinks she has every right to tell us how we're all supposed to believe and think and feel. I think if you could scroll to the top of this real quick,
yep,
just to read the headline again that you have here. So, yeah, here we find a 26-year-old, the Supergirl star, mocking, while advertising for a multi-million-dollar movie, mocking Christian dads, and says that it's okay to piss off the right people. And that's where we are. That's Hollywood. That's not just Millie Alcock. We had this with Zegler and all the other people that we've named and covered. They think it's okay. We saw it with Eric Kripke on The Boys just 5 minutes ago.
What an implosion that has been. by the way. Not just the show, but that dude and his thin skin about anyone criticizing what he's doing. The Boys official X account yesterday flat out mocked the death of Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
Flat out mocked it. Shared a post that was mocking it with an image to continue to pile on, and they do that once the show is already off the air because now you can't retaliate by not watching.
And they also, Kripke himself vocalized that he considered it an ego boost that Elon Musk responded to the depiction. Well, responded negatively to the show that depicted Elon Musk's assassination.
Right. And
that's
yeah,
an ego boost.
It 100% did that. It 100% did that.
Yeah.
People are acting shocked about the Charlie Kirk thing right now. So while it is off topic, I will just share it very, very quickly here.
Oh, we should. Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah. So this is an article from Geeks and Gamers that I wrote yesterday. So the Boys shared this from a fan source that says, the source tells me the deep is stable, please God. Now this was a parody of Tim Pool after Charlie was shot, saying source tells me Charlie is stable, please God. The Boys official account, the Boys TV with the Amazon Prime logo and the yellow check mark, shares this picture of the deep and retweets this. So putting their stamp of approval on it. Now also realize this is how the deep died, spoiler alert.
Nobody cares. And
with something coming through his throat and lower jaw.
Yeah.
So,
and well, no one cares, as in no one cares that
no one cares.
dies.
No one cares about the spoiler. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So
and that's just we're just scratching the surface, but it's okay because look, Superman. Marv, how many times have you gone out of your way? Because you're a nerd, you watch movies on repeat. We watch them over and over, right?
Yeah.
How many times have you watched James Gunn's Superman?
So I saw it twice in the theater because I hated it so much the first time, and I was like, and other people were telling me it was good. Like Lorne liked it, Culture liked it. Force of Light, Valiant, they all liked it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it another shot. And I liked it. I hated it less. I didn't like it, but I hated it less the second time around. Then it came out on video on PVOD, and I got it there, and I watched it again, and I was like, oh no, I was right the first time. I hate this movie.
Okay, so you've seen it 3 times.
3 times I've seen it, yeah.
You've actually seen it more than the average person.
Yep.
Because the average person's only seen it once or not at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gone down. Nobody cares. The Boys. The rewatchability on The Boys now after the finale is near 0. The rewatchability on Starfleet Academy is 0. The rewatchability on the upcoming Supergirl is based on that trailer and you know, I'm judging a book by its cover. I'm acknowledging that I'm judging the book by its cover. The rewatchability will be 0 or not at all because people don't care to see it at all.
Agreed.
And that's just the way all of this is going to be.
So there you go, guys. Supergirl star Millie Alcock. Probably not the last time you're going to be hearing us talk about her because if this is anything to go by, oh boy, she's not shutting up anytime soon. And, you know, we're going to be here to call out every stupid thing that she says. All right, back to the chat here. We have got over on your channel.
Rengap for a 5 says, Henry Cavill, the guy who goes feral for a free gift of Custodes models, please let his Warhammer story be good.
Look, they're not going to make it if it's not, like, he won't make it if it's not doing justice. Like, we saw what he did with The Witcher.
I'm going to say I almost hope they... part of me doesn't want them to make it at all. And I know that may sound kind of crazy, but...
No, I get it. I get it, because there's plenty of things where, like, I used to always say, like, oh, the thing that I want more than anything is a Gargoyles, like, live action.
You wanted it then. You don't want it.
I wanted it then. I wanted it in the 2010s.
Right.
You know?
And it could have been good in the 2010s.
Yeah. Now, looking at it in the 2020s, I'm like, please never touch Gargoyles.
I actually see. So, Henry Cavill is so I'm kind of identifying this. I figured this out with Gina Carano just a couple weeks ago, but there are vulnerable points in our culture, really vulnerable spots. Gina Carano is one of them. The Hollywood trades may have been like talking positively about, I wouldn't say praising, talking positively about her leading into her fight, right? But they don't want to. They want to trash her.
Yeah, of course
fierce.
they do. Of
Okay,
course they do.
so and we were talking. Well, if Gina Carano came back to Star Wars, no. They want her to come back to Star Wars because then they'll use her as a scapegoat for the death of Star Wars. It is only at that point will they throw Star Wars under the bus and say that it's Gina Carano's fault. Look, this is the worst performing show, because it will underperform because Star Wars is dead, right?
And
Henry
by
Cavill,
the way, there's going to be a lot of hate thrown at Dave Filoni this weekend if The Mandalorian underperforms, because he's the head of Lucasfilm now and co-writer on the film. But remember, this movie was developed under Kathleen Kennedy. So this is a Kathleen Kennedy production. Sorry, go ahead. You're making the point about Henry Cavill.
So Henry Cavill being a weak spot in the culture. If Henry Cavill's had a series of flops, including just this past weekend. You know, there's a Henry Cavill film in theaters right now.
I did not know that.
I think it's called like Into the Gray, and it's him and Jake Gyllenhaal. And it's a
Interesting.
Guy Ritchie film.
Okay.
And apparently it's really good, but I haven't seen it, and I haven't even seen a trailer for it. My point being is Henry Cavill's had a slew of bombs under his belt. If a Warhammer project comes out and it underperforms, even naturally, they are going to use it to crucify him. If Highlander comes out and it underperforms, they're going to crucify him, which then is an attempt.
Then all of a sudden they're going to blame the Snyderverse failing on him.
Then they'll blame everything on him, and then they'll blame all of us that actually like Henry Cavill. So that's something to really consider when you're out there and you say Henry Cavill should do blank. Keep in mind, if you can't capture the normies, which are really hard to get right now, and it underperforms, they'll blame you. It'll be your fault, and that person's career could get hurt. Anyway, thank you for the comment. Thank you for the super there.
Absolutely. Also, just wanted to point out over on my channel, Wolfrel McGruffle says, "Does Wizard read this chat too?" Yes. For the answer to both you guys, yeah, we both read both chats. So if that is a question that anybody has, like we have a feed on the side of our screen in StreamYard that actually shows both chats at the same time. We can tell which chat you're coming from, but we both are reading both chats. So.
Yeah. So when you guys are on Marv's channel and I see, oh, Wizard is here, I'll come back next time. I see it in real time.
I've never seen anyone say that.
No, not here, not here. But I have seen that before.
Okay. You know what? I think before we get dive into the Mandalorian, we have to dive into some He-Man stuff.
All right, let's do the He-Man stuff.
Yeah, we got to talk about He-Man because there's a new trailer out and there's early reviews out. And well,
wait, real quick. Before we do that, I just saw come in. We just got over on my channel a girl power sticker for 300 jewels on mobile.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you for that. Now to He-Man.
All right, let's get over to. By the way, almost 800 people watching right now, Wizard, across all of our various platforms.
And we're just going to keep growing. I love to see you guys here hanging out with us this morning.
The day that we can hit 1,000 people concurrently, like across all of our platforms, I will be very, very happy. But let's talk a bit about what's going on with the He-Man. Masters of the Universe is the next big movie to come out after Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu, and there has been a lot of one step forward, two steps back with the marketing of this film, and we're seeing it right now. A new trailer just dropped, but right before that, right after the world premiere, we started seeing early reviews, and one of them very specifically, angered a lot of people because an early review from Masters of the Universe celebrates themes of, quote, fragile masculinity. And we need to explore here today whether that is real or just critic projection. And we're going to talk about it today here on the Culture Crossfire. And we're going to even take a look at that trailer. So let's have a look, see here. This review comes from Andrew J. Salazar, and it states, Masters of the Universe is like a sister film to the first Thor. Struggles to find its footing in the first half, but once it locks in on its themes of fragile masculinity and ego, it makes way for an incredibly fun time that's also visually stimulating. Nicholas Galitzine is great. I hope I said his name correctly. But Andrew J. Salazar, he is the co-owner and managing editor of Discussing Film.
Right. Marv, as we get into this topic, I just want to say, since the promotion for this movie came up, since they started promoting this movie, there has been the term masculinity, toxic masculinity, positive masculinity, negative masculinity. All these masculinity has been floating around this movie, and it's been positioned in either a negative way that needs to be reframed, restructured with these characters, or it's been used as like a crutch. And I just think, because we haven't seen this movie yet, this is very quickly becoming one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and I'm very serious about that because it's Amazon related here. I think it's all a crock of crap. I think this movie is going to be an Iron Man 1 style origin movie. I think it's going to be sincere. I think it's going to have some heart to it. I think it's going to be likable. Everything we hear about Skeletors, even Jared Leto is you don't recognize Jared Leto in the Skeletor performance at all. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, maybe this thing is really good, and maybe everyone involved is just stupid.
Yep. So, and this is what I wanted to point out here, because Lord Brian Urso, the lead guitarist of Gideon's Mob, it's a band, go out there and check them out, says, just because you want, he was responding directly to this Salazar review, just because you want to put in far left buzzwords like toxic masculinity in a film and look for things like that doesn't mean it was actually in there. The people I know that actually saw it said it was an awesome space fantasy fun and have no idea what the hell you're talking about. But please cram in more intersectionality bullshit talking points to your review. Maybe cultural appropriation?
It's because the Hollywood apparatus, the Hollywood machine, cannot articulate argument without using I guess intersectionality would be the word, but buzzwords, without using these rhetorically charged buzzwords.
I think it's even simpler than that. They don't know how to market to straight men anymore. They don't. Oh. They don't know how to market to straight blue-collar dudes. They have no idea how to communicate to them.
And they also don't want to.
But that's so like the director of the movie, right? The director of the movie, Travis Knight, and the girl who's playing Tila, they have both said things about toxic masculinity in this movie. And here's the thing. They're using the buzzword, but I understand what they're trying to say. They just don't know how to say it in a way that's not washed with all of this progressive nonsense bullshit. What they're trying to say is there's a difference between being a good man and a bad man. He-Man is a good man. Skeletor is a bad man. He-Man is a hero. Skeletor is a villain.
I didn't know we were dealing with rocket science here, Marv, because that's really hard. That's really hard to explain, Marv. I don't know. How do you explain that?
It's absolute insanity. But you tell a normal dude, hey, this is a movie about fragile masculinity and the effects of toxic masculinity. They're not going.
Right. Yeah.
So
they're not going to go.
And here's the thing. The movie knows that this discourse is out here. It knows. The movie is well aware of what is happening right now. And because of that, they put out the trailer that they put out. And that trailer is, I think, a direct response to exactly this. So, guys, if you are watching the clip of this, or you're watching a replay of this, there is a chance that this is going to get a copyright strike. Or not a copyright strike, but it's going to get
It's going to get claimed.
It's going to get a copyright claim for both of our channels. So we might have to actually edit this part out. But if you're watching live, we're about to watch this trailer. This is the final trailer. I've decided to try it this way because we have it embedded in this That Park Place article by Trevor Denning.
Okay.
And I think if we watch it here, maybe it will be a little less likely to get flagged.
Let's give it a try. But yeah, massive shout out to Marv is 100% right. If this is edited, it's just a reason why you got to be here when we're live so that you could actually watch the full trailer with us.
Yep. I feel like it's like with the WWE, like, you got to experience it live to know what it's like to be a part of the Culture Crossfire. All right, right away, though, why isn't, like, they did Cringer as the lion, the MGM lion last time, and they took it away.
Interesting.
But then again, this looks like an old-timey, like, 80s MGM logo, and I think that's the point.
They're playing to it's the He-Man 80s.
Yep. The old school, the Mattel logo in, like, the TV format. Now look at this. Right there. I got chills. From that.
He saved his universe.
And they know what they're doing. They are now. I have never seen a movie based on a property actually use the old school cartoon property in their marketing.
And properly.
Yeah.
And do it well.
Adam, when you hold the magic sword, what do you say?
He inspired a generation.
Of grace.
He did.
Well, just the
say?
fact that they're using the pronouns for him being a guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's been such a long time.
By the power of Grayskull.
Go on.
Again. Goosebumps. Could be like The Rock going. I'm convinced those aren't goosebumps, by the way. He actually has his promos on his arm in Braille.
Now you're ready.
This should have been the first trailer.
Yeah.
This should have been the first trailer!
Yup.
It seems the prodigal prince has returned.
Did you hear that?
This should have been the first trailer!
Did you not see this trailer yet?
No!
Oh, man, okay. But you hear Skeletor there. It seems the prodigal prince has returned. I'm like, oh, you're going like Shakespearean with this Skeletor, and I like it. Because obviously it wasn't going to be evil. I like what they're doing. Listen very closely to how Jared Leto...
I would have been okay if he was...
I would have been okay with it too, but I get not doing that. But listen very closely to Jared Leto's cadence here.
Seems the prodigal prince has returned. I am a devil, but I mean to be a god.
What am I?
Come on, man.
Okay, I haven't seen this trailer. I figured we were gonna. When I see trailers now, I'm just like, we're gonna cover it on Culture Crossfire.
Right,
I'm geeking out right now. This should have been. This should have been the first trailer.
This should have been the first trailer. Shouldn't have had the pronouns in the trailer, even though it's a joke, and we know that it's supposed to be a joke.
Oh,
You still should not have
no.
included it in the trailer. It should have been this. Hold on, let me go back a little bit, just because it's just he's kicking ass.
It's just him kicking ass.
It's just him kicking ass, and Skeletor looks amazing, looks perfect. Is very clearly this just Shakespearean like villain Just utter villain, monstrous villain. You know, it's not going to be like, Skeletor could be considered the hero from a certain point of view. There's going to be none of that. This is a dude with a skull face who's screwing shit up.
Now you're ready.
It seems the prodigal prince has returned. I am a devil, but I mean to be a god.
What am I supposed to do?
You are he who will restore peace to Eternia.
You are he who will restore peace to Eternia.
Guys, this movie might be awesome.
It might be.
Skeletor took my family, and he destroyed our world. I'm gonna fight for it.
Just wait.
Mechanic.
And Ram Man.
Hell yeah!
And you, Fisto! Mr. Allen! It's Adam, dude.
Hey, put your neck away.
Come on.
It's gonna hurt when this movie underperforms.
I know, it really is. And they're going to have no one but themselves with their stupid rhetoric to blame for it. By the way, you notice who hasn't spoken in this trailer yet? Her.
Tila. Tila, who's an idiot actress.
Yep. I mean, we're pointing out Mechanic and Fisto. Like, come on.
When they asked her, like, in the first interview that she did about this, she's like, "Oh, well, you know, she has a complicated relationship with her father and his toxic masculinity."
Well, she's affected by toxic masculinity. I'm like, shut up. Shut
You're
up.
playing a toy. You are a toy.
Yes. We gotta get that clip in there for this.
Let me show you what real power looks like.
My time for talk is over.
Can you come help me with this? Whoa.
It is quite heavy, so if you
Oh,
could just...
oh my god, yeah.
Okay. The one line she has is her gooning over him.
Oh man. Wait, he's opening the jar of pickles. That's how the
Yes! He just opened the jar of pickles for her, and she was like, damn. Like we actually got to see a woman attracted by masculinity.
Why do you keep saying toxic masculinity?
Stop it! Like, if they had just not said those words, dude! Like, it's so dumb! Here we go.
Can you come help me with this? Whoa.
It is quite heavy, so if you
Oh,
could just...
oh my god, yeah.
And look at that. Hold on, we got a shot of that final shot right here. With Battle Cat.
That's a wallpaper. That's a desktop wallpaper.
That's
right there.
100%, dude. 100%.
Oh, man. Come on. It's who are the 5 people ruining entertainment, Marv? The writers, the journalists, the shills, the corporate managers or corporate executives, and the marketers.
Yeah.
The marketers. This movie's marketing has been shit.
So bad. You do not have to push this on the woke crowd. They're not going to see it anyway. If you made this specifically for them, they wouldn't come see it. That's the point. That's the point of these woke movies. They don't come to see it. You need to be marketing this to blue-collar dudes who are going to bring their kids. Because this is the thing that I loved.
You mean the Christian dad with 4 kids that
The
Millie
Christian dad
Alcock
with-
wants to insult?
Yep. The Christian dad with 4 kids that Millie Alcock is rolling her eyes at over at DC that isn't going to go see Supergirl. That's who needs to see this movie.
This movie needs to. All right, now I may catch grief for this if the movie turns out to be a rug pull, but now this needs to beat Supergirl.
I need it to beat Supergirl. If He-Man can beat Supergirl, I am all for it.
It's not gonna. I don't think it is.
Probably not.
I don't know, because the projections are like this movie's going to do 25 million, and it's like, whoa, that's bad. But like this needs to be the movie of the summer. It's not going to beat Toy Story. It just needs to beat Supergirl.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't think it's going to be very difficult to beat Supergirl. I think Supergirl's a $300 million movie.
I agree. I think Supergirl's going to tank.
I think it's going to do like Captain America: Brave New World numbers.
If He-Man has a bad, okay, so like we're literally 2 weeks out from this, and we have, we get through Mandalorian and Grogu. If Masters of the Universe has good word of mouth, then this movie could hit. It could carry through the summer, right? You got Toy Story, but if it's like, hey, we got to see that He-Man movie, then it could do it. This is a big budget movie. This movie needs to make a lot of money to hit.
I love this comment in the chat. What are you, nuts? Market the cool adventure movies toward people who have kids who would like cool adventure movies? Are you nuts?
Apparently I am. You want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Dude, this is not rocket science.
No, not only is it not rocket science, it's my fear is the audience is too okay. We are in an age where people talk about like apathy towards the box office, apathy towards the movie theater, and that is very real.
Toward IPs in general,
to IPs in general. This movie needs to have extremely good word of mouth.
Yes,
and I hope it does. But I also hope it deserves it. It needs to be good. It needs to deserve that word of mouth. And then people need to go and support this movie. I posted this on Twitter a couple days ago, but I said, it's the weekend. We have great movies in theaters right now. You had the Michael Jackson movie. You have Sheep Detectives. If you're a horror fan, Obsession is excellent. We have, we talk a lot about the bad things here on the internet.
There's a lot of good this year.
But there's also really good underneath. And if we find it, you must support it.
I don't think I could name 3 good movies last year or the year before. But like this year, there have already been so many good things going on. Our friend Carol Brown says, Wizard has lost it with this logic. You and your logic.
It is 10:30 in the morning on a Thursday. I'm dressed like a wizard wearing a Burger King crown.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to go see.
Went off the rails a long time ago.
Yeah, and we've got to go see this movie later. So, see.
Yeah.
What time are you seeing it?
I'm supposed to be seeing it at 2, but I may have to push it back.
I am also seeing it at 2, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Do you think there's going to be fragile masculinity in this movie, or toxic masculinity, or are people just projecting, are activist critics just projecting the talking points that they want to on this movie because it is a threat to them? Let us know in the comments what you want to see. And we're going to head back to the chat. All right, man. Oh, by the way, 876 people watching right now across all of our various platforms, Wizard.
And it's just going to keep growing. Shout out to all of you.
We just hit 880, man. Like, we are chugging along with this thing. Culture Crossfire is becoming a phenomenon. It will not be long before we're pulling 14,000 people in the chat. Maybe it'll take a long time for that, but I am excited though if we could possibly hit 1,000 on one of our shows coming up soon.
It'll happen.
I think so too. All right, man. Let's see what the chat is saying out there, because they're saying quite a few things. Chef Eddie over on my channel on the M4 Empire for 5 says, you and Wizard need to join Wilton on his live stream of Rings of Power Season 3 in November, the ultimate Wiltonathon. No, thank you.
No, thank you. Respectfully,
I think both Wizard and I. No, disrespectfully. No, thank you.
Oh, I say respectfully. Respectfully, no. Return to
not
sender.
disrespectfully to Chef Eddie, but disrespectfully to Wilton. Yeah, no, and we don't need to be talking about Wilton on Culture Crossfire. There you go, on your channel.
Woodsy for a 5 says, for my real life fake Asian wizard.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was so funny the other night on the pro show when everybody was just doing memes of you as an Asian.
Yeah,
Which,
well, it happened last night too.
My wife is Asian and thought you were Asian.
Asians think I'm Asian. I'm not Asian.
We need to put you in front of Phil and see if Phil thinks you're Asian.
I think I did Phil's show, and I think he said something like, "Oh, we thought you were Asian." Him and Gray thought I was Asian.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I'm not Asian.
Ask X-Ray Girl if she thinks you're Asian.
I'm afraid of what the answer will be. I'm like, my voice. Does my voice sound like an Asian person's voice? I never thought so. Ryan for a 5 says
They don't all sound like Mr. Miyagi.
No, but I sound like I'm from Brooklyn.
I know plenty of Asians that sound like they're from Brooklyn. Mostly the ones I know that are from Brooklyn.
I know a lot of Asians from Brooklyn that they don't sound like they're from. In conjunction with Wizard's video about the toy industry, I got the bucket and sword yesterday. I am the problem. This movie is going to be great.
I'm getting the sword. I'm definitely getting the sword in the castle. Like it's happening.
I'm getting the sword, and I'm getting the gripper cup. But no. All right. Real quick. You said I'm the problem. No. Okay, so that wasn't my point with that video. We're not a problem it's not a problem for us to buy the toy buckets. That's all that's left. That's all that's left of like movie merchandise. So no, you're not part of the problem, dude. I'm buying the buckets myself.
And it's like you can't market toys to kids anymore because they don't care. So you're marketing toys to adults at the movie theater and they care. Like
because you literally have to catch them as they go in and out of the theater because that's the only way they'll impulse buy it. Yeah, or us, hunt it.
I'm definitely getting that sword in that bucket and that Castle Grayskull.
100%. Yes.
If I go to Mando and Grogu today and they already have the He-Man stuff, I'm gonna get the He-Man stuff.
Cinemark for you guys out there, the Cinemark theaters have announced that all of their He-Man stuff is out already.
I really hope it's not going to be like Mario. I didn't get half the Mario stuff that I wanted to get because
I wanted the what are the star guys?
The Luma. I wanted the Lumas. I wanted all of them. I wanted all 3 colors of the Lumas.
They were too big for me to get all of them. They were actually pretty big.
Yeah,
they had size to them, but
they were sold out everywhere. I wanted the little Bowser cauldron too. It was sold out everywhere. The only thing I got was the Yoshi.
Yeah, I want the power sword. I got the Yoshi. Yeah.
Let's see. Bushin Ryukat over on your channel.
For a 5 says first time here. Love the show. Number 1, I just want a 100% accurate live action Thundercats film by 2028. I'm sorry, that's never going to happen unless Okay, you want a Thundercats movie? I think we got to do a video on this at some point. Do you want a Thundercats movie? You need to see Masters of the Universe. If this movie in 2 weeks hits hard, then there's an extremely high chance we get a Thundercats film next.
If this movie makes over $600 million, then all of a sudden every 80s cartoon is back on the table.
Exactly. But Masters of the Universe is a response to Barbie.
Yeah.
It's a response to Barbie. If it's good, we got to support it.
Look, Barbie was clearly always for girls. And then you had things like He-Man and G.I. Joe that were made for boys. That's just how things go, guys. The problem in Hollywood is you can market Barbie to just women, but you can't market He-Man to just men.
Right. That's right. Number 2, would you ever play a D&D game with figures on screen? I have before. I would again. It's hard to get those. There's a lot of work that goes into that. And it depends on what you mean by figures, because sometimes you could have there's Foundry VTT, but it's like top down and you're looking at little tokens, or there really is like 3D animated like little figure characters. I think it was called Tailspire was the program on Steam a few years back. So there's a lot of things there. Would I? Yes. Will I anytime soon? Well, actually, probably not to that extent.
Speaking of D&D on Screen Wizard, my channel is currently, the M4 Empire, my channel is currently sitting at 7,443 subscribers. That means we are 57 away from 7,500. And we have said that when we hit 7,500, we will do a special episode of the M4cast where it will be a huge D&D campaign. You will be the DM, and I will play, and Carol Brown will play, and Lauren will play, and I believe Martin Stone is going to play, and we will try to get some of our other friends from all around to play as well, and we will have an incredible time. I have a theme song already set for it.
You do?
I have like a raise high the banners of the M4 Empire. Like, it's gonna be like
it's a whole anthem.
It's like a whole like fantasy setting anthem for it. So like I'm ready for this, man. Also on your channel,
Giovanni Garcia for 2 says, real life fake out wizard son.
Real life fake a wizard son.
You guys are messed up, man.
Also, I read that
Not
as
Asian.
I read that as ho.
Yeah, I did. I was real life fake a wizard son. So messed up.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm taking Hacksaw Jim Dugan and putting it next to an Asian thing. Also on your channel.
Konnichiwa, Wizard. You and Marvin should join Wilton on his live stream of Rings of Power Season 3, the ultimate Wiltonathon. Respectfully, no thank you.
Yeah. Disrespectfully, no thank you. Also on your channel.
Medi the Nerd for a 10 says, you guys have to listen to the 2 released tracks from the Masters of the Universe movie. They're amazing too. Keep nerddom alive. Greetings from Austria. Greetings to you as well. And thank you for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
We will. I will be listening to the Masters of the Universe soundtrack on my way to see Mandalorian.
I will too. I'm sure I will too. If I'm not listening to Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which I've been the full cast recording, which I've been listening to for quite a while. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Like, we don't need this HBO show because like we've got these audiobooks, but we've got to get back to the Culture Wizard because there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Let's do it.
Yeah, specifically the box office, both what is being reported and what is happening right now under our noses. So without any further ado, I'm just setting it up here. Let's get back to the culture.
To the culture.
Mandalorian and Grogu is set to hit this weekend, and the box office projections are not looking great. Will this be another Disney Star Wars disaster? Well, let's talk about it here on the Culture Crossfire. Wizard, this article from thatparkplace.com, written by me, Disney's The Mandalorian and Grogu eyes soft global box office opening. Will this be another Disney Star Wars disaster? There you see our friend Pedro looking like he's looking at the same projections we're looking at. They are charting, according to a new report from Deadline, targeting a roughly $160 million global opening over Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend, let me say that again, over a 4-day period. 5-day, because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it's a 5-day period. Because this movie's opening this afternoon. It's opening at 2 p.m. with approximately $80 million coming from North America and another $80 million overseas. By the way, Deadline does not seem to think that this is as dire as I do, because their headline is Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu hopes to hyperspace to $160 million global opening. That's not hyperspace for this movie.
Nope, that's misleading.
Yeah. Deadline notes the film's projected opening would be only slightly ahead of Solo: A Star Wars Story, a movie widely viewed as the low point of Disney's theatrical Star Wars era and the first Star Wars movie to ever lose money, but not the last, because The Rise of Skywalker also lost money because it cost $600 million to make. That film opened to $103 million domestically, so it's going to come in far under that domestically over the 4-day Memorial Day frame. Same time frame, by the way, Memorial Day also, with another $52 million internationally before collapsing at the box office. Now, Lucasfilm appears to be facing another uphill battle. Critics have not exactly rallied behind the project either. As of this writing, The Mandalorian and Grogu sits at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. You know what? Let's do a check-in because that was about 2 hours ago, and that could absolutely have changed by now. Rotten Tomatoes, Mandalorian and Grogu. We are back to 61% now, Wizard, with 142 reviews. You can see it right here.
Okay, 61.
It has been going from 61 to 60. And I'm just like, man, it is just a couple of bad reviews away from falling back into rotten territory. I say back in because, it was already rotten at one point. But back to this. The concern here is not merely the opening weekend itself, but what happens afterward. Because the real problem here is profitability. Disney has reportedly produced The Mandalorian and Grogu for $165 million net. And let's take a look here, though, because I did an article yesterday for that Park Place about how much money The Mandalorian and Grogu actually needs to break even. So you see here, according to the California Film Commission filings, the movie has qualified expenditures of $166,438,000 for a credit allocation of $21,755,000. So it's 166, but it's getting 21 million back. So when you look at this, you have to add the tax incentive back in, so subtract that from the expenditure. So using the estimated production costs alongside the California incentive, the film's effective cost basis lands closer to roughly $245 million on the low end and $295 million on the high end after marketing. Because now everyone is saying marketing-wise, this movie is probably going to be $150 million total for marketing. And with everything that they've got going right now with the Burger King and the Super Bowl ad and all that, I would put it on the higher end of that. Valiant as well is saying they're going to need $600 million in retail box office to cover that and won't even get close. I was a little bit more, I was a little kinder. I said 500 to 600 million worldwide because it all depends on, what the actual marketing cost is. We don't know it. But domestic theaters typically retain around 40 to 50% of ticket revenue, while international revenue splits can be even less favorable for Hollywood studios. China, for example, returns a significantly smaller percentage back to distributors. So using the common industry assumption that Disney ultimately retains roughly half of worldwide ticket revenue overall, the break-even math is pretty straightforward. If it's a $245 million total, Disney needs approximately $490 million worldwide to break even, and around $295 million total, the figure climbs closer to $590 million worldwide. So that places it around 500 to 600 globally. 160 million opening weekend does not put them on track for that, I don't think.
Okay. So this means, if I'm not mistaken, that the reported budgets that were given were wrong.
What were the reported budgets given?
Well, I mean, that it was 165 production budget.
Oh, by the way, Valiant Renegade checking in here with a super chat for $4.99. Just wanted to bump in here. He's got a new video out about the real cost of Mando, and I've been waiting for that video to drop to do an update on this because what Valiant has discovered is that, you know what? I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. Go check out the video because he has discovered some extra expenditures that were apparently not included, and he says the marketing will come out to about $130 million. I'd put money on at least that much. So
right.
Guys, if there's one person that I will always there's two things that I will trust Valiant Renegade on more than anything in the world: guns and financial stuff, because he knows his stuff when it comes to those two things. So go watch his video once we're done here, and I'm going to be doing a story on it as well, because he's made this discovery that apparently some of the larger expenditures, maybe some things that people are being paid, may not actually be included in this, Wizard. So
here's the big thing. So just hearing all of this, seeing all of this. We were originally in the ballpark that this movie needed to clear about $500 million to break even.
Yes.
Now we're in a ballpark where it's much closer to being 600, possibly more, more or a little bit less based on Valiant Renegade's analysis.
Mm-hmm.
We need to blow this information up.
Yep.
That's
because
so that's on
so
us, but also you, the chat. when you see people like us talking about it, when you see Valiant Renegades video, share that out there. You got to talk about this. Blow them up on Twitter with this, because this proves they're full of crap.
By the way, this is also a thing to remember, because accounts like Star Wars Holocron are already out there with the narrative of, well, the movie is set to make 160 million, but it cost 166 million to make, so they're doing great. Because here's the thing, Star Wars Holocron knows about ticket splits. It knows about marketing.
Yes.
It's banking on the fact that you don't know that. And you, the Culture Crossfire audience, you do know that. So arm yourselves with that information.
Do you know why they like to... do you know why the trades, the influencers, the shills, the businesses, Hollywood... Do you know why they downplay us and content creators and the toxic fans? Do you know why they have to downplay us? Because we try our best to hold them accountable.
We do.
We try our best to hold them accountable to not just emotions and feelings and, oh, you killed Luke Skywalker. That's one angle of it, sure. You can't hide from the facts of the numbers. You can't hide from the money. When you follow the money tells the real story. And in this case, this movie, they have been I said it months ago on the Pro Show. I said they are going to downplay it. They're going to say they are going to underreport it. They're going to say it cost way less than it actually did, whether they reported it or not, or somebody in the trades reported, they got a room or something. They are going to say this thing was so cheap to make. It's the cheapest Star Wars ever.
Oh, they've been saying that for months. Yeah. Months.
I said then, it's specifically to downplay when this thing sucks at the box office.
You are 100% right. Look at this from thatparkplace.com. Mandalorian and Grogu is already flopping in Europe. So have a look-see at this, Wizard, because this is fascinating here. Luis Fernando over on X has said the Mandalorian and Grogu kicked off a global rollout in Europe, but not like one would expect from the first Star Wars film in 7 years. In Italy's box office, you know what? Actually, I'm going to pull up this full tweet here on X. Real quick, let me get that up there. So it says, but not like one would expect from the first Star Wars film in 7 years. In Italy's box office, the film starring Pedro Pascal grossed a modest $417,000 on Wednesday opening day. Now that is comparable to The Flash at $414,000 and Solo, much lower than Solo at $435,000. Captain America: Brave New World did $531,000 as one of the lowest debuts for Disney major IP post-COVID, only above The Marvels, which did $300K, and Snow White, which did $378K opening days. Just $43K admissions to its opening day in Italy. So in the entire country of Italy, where my people originate from, 43,000 paisans went to see this movie, Wizard.
And God bless them too.
Yeah. And Luis Fernando says if things don't pick up in the following days, and with The Devil Wears Prada 2 grossing $257K on its fourth Wednesday and Michael grossing $235 on its fifth Wednesday, the Star Wars film might have to use the Force to be number one this weekend overall against both. It might not even take number one in its first weekend in Europe.
That would be awesome, and I hope it happens. Just as an aside, I hope it is the Michael movie that crushes it.
And by the way, it didn't do as bad as The Marvels or Snow White is not a flex.
Maybe if you're the Hollywood Reporter, it is.
Yeah.
This is you know what this tells me? This movie is going to be, firstly, incredibly open weekend heavy. It's going to be front loaded, and it's going to rely on the American box office because Europe is out. Now I would say Europe does have a different point of view on Star Wars, right? They've never really taken to Star Wars as big as other countries have. Like Japan likes Star Wars more than Europe, I would say. But this is telling. This is everything that has been mentioned here has flopped around the world. This is not good.
It is going to release in China, but I don't think this movie is doing anything in China.
I don't see it doing well in China.
I don't know. So we've seen what it's done with my people. Your people in China, however, I don't think are going to even go as much as my people are going in Italy.
I'm not Chinese.
Sorry, you're Vietnamese?
No, I'm not Asian.
Japanese? Filipino?
I
Korean?
don't want to be here anymore.
Sorry, I had to. I had to. But no, I think though in like the Asian markets, they're
started that.
She did. They are probably trying to bank on the goodwill of the Asian community in terms of like they love cutesy characters over there. Like Duffy the Disney Bear is the biggest thing Disney has in Japan and in China. So they probably think Grogu will be a phenomenon there. I don't think he will be. I think he already probably was.
It's the Mandalorian and Grogu, not the movie, the characters, have been in the zeitgeist around the world since 2019, since December of 2019.
Look,
we've seen Grogu before.
They said that Grogu has moved. They were bragging about this earlier today. Grogu has moved 13 million pieces of merchandise over the world since 2019. You know what that says to me? Everyone that wants Grogu merch has it already.
Already has it.
They don't want anything. And nothing that they're putting out is new. What is it? Grogu has a little like chest plate with the little mud horn on it. Like,
yeah.
It's not like you're putting him out in full Mando armor or anything like that.
Yeah, you'd think they can't even get toys right here, Marv. With Star Wars, every time we saw Luke Skywalker or Han Solo or Princess Leia especially, they were wearing different outfits. They were wearing new costumes.
Yep.
The Mandalorian and Grogu are wearing the same thing that they have worn for many seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
And Grogu looks exactly the same as he does when we first met him.
Yeah.
He's just got a little plate now. So to your point, yeah, anybody who wants a Grogu anything, they've already got it.
Right.
And we also know, just from what they've leaked about, not even leaked, just spoiled with the movie, there is no character development in this. Zero.
Pro has this listicle up on thatparkplace.com that I think is fascinating because it's like, what will The Mandalorian and Grogu have to do to break into Jon Favreau's top 5 box office films? So it says The Mandalorian and Grogu is on its way to theaters starting Thursday, May 21st, but where might it stand at the end of its run in comparison to Jon Favreau's other box office blockbusters? Adjusted for inflation, the answer just might surprise you. So this article uses data from thenumbers.com. And here you go. Favreau's inflation-adjusted worldwide top 5. The Lion King. Worldwide reported gross, $1.661 billion. Estimated inflation-adjusted worldwide gross in today's money, $2.17 billion. The Jungle Book, $950.7 million. I cannot believe that movie made that much money.
There was still hype at the time for Disney live action. There was a lot of hype. You had Bill Murray involved and Christopher Walken as King Louis. Yeah. There was hype for the movie. Yeah.
So adjusted for inflation, that's $1.31 billion. Iron Man, $584.9, adjusted for inflation, $974 mil. Iron Man 2, $621.2 million. By the way, could you believe that like back then Iron Man movies were making like $500,000?
And they were still a hit then.
Yeah. $890 million adjusted for inflation. Elf made $233.9 million, which adjusted for inflation comes up to $445 million in today money. So where does The Mandalorian and Grogu land adjusted for inflation? Do you think it makes more than $445 million?
I hope it doesn't. It's hard to speculate on where this is going to land. I don't see it doing well, but I'll just tell you what I think I want to happen. This movie needs to tank. It needs to tank hard.
Well, so let me tell. Go ahead.
So we've talked about on all of our channels. We've talked about apathy for Star Wars. For Star Wars. The audience doesn't care anymore. Actually, do you know what the reality of that is that I'm discovering here? We're not in an apathy phase. We don't actually have apathy for Star Wars. Maybe the normie audience does in the center that don't have an emotional attachment. Do you know? But for all of us that have been betrayed by the powers that be that make this stuff, we want revenge. I want revenge. I want justice. And I think a lot of people out there would agree with me. And the only way we get that is if this is an absolute career ender embarrassment of a box office, because that you can't hide behind that. You can't hide. Oh, well, people didn't resonate with the story. Oh, it's political politics. It's ideology. It's this or that. You're bad. It's morality. It's numbers. People have
cold hard
rejected
numbers.
you by the numbers.
Cold hard
done.
numbers. Yep, you're 100% right. Here's the thing: 160 million opening, if that is what we get, to get to 600 million, let's just say as a base here. Right. That requires repeat viewings, I think.
It does. Yes, it does.
And that's not going to happen, because from what everyone is saying, this is a glorified Disney Plus series on screen. It plays like it is just a few episodes strung together of a Disney Plus series. And you know what people are going to do for that, Wizard? They're going to wait for Disney Plus.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
They're not going to go to this multiple times. You're not going to get people going, 3, 4, 5 times. I really don't think that that people are going, and I think that they're going to do that gleefully, because as Lauren is saying in the chat, Lauren Connor says, that's what I was arguing last night. We are in the revenge phase. We're punishing Disney at this point, and I think he's right. I think people are vindictively not seeing this movie.
And tell your friends, don't go to see it. You yourself, don't go to see it. Wait
and then
to watch it on stream.
and then to cancel Disney Plus, right?
Oh, I wouldn't watch. I wouldn't pay to ever watch this.
Yeah.
I am paying.
You're gonna today.
I'm paying for a Regal Unlimited subscription.
Me too.
It allows me to see any movie I want.
Me too.
And therefore, I'm not giving them money. And I'll take it to another step. I have accumulated points, Marv. Okay, I have a decade of Regal points, and I have used them to get another ticket for free, so that my brother and I can go see it, so we can review it. And I'm not giving Disney a penny myself.
That's amazing. I love it.
I don't touch it.
So yeah, guys, this movie is coming out, and we're gonna see what it does box office wise. Now, at the end of the day, look, we're gonna call balls and strikes. If this is a $200 million plus opening weekend, we will say on Monday night on Culture Crossfire that we were wrong.
Yep. Yeah.
Like we're not gonna be like, that kind of like that show that's just basically like, oh, like whatever. We will say that we were wrong if we're wrong. I don't think we're gonna be wrong here.
I don't think we're gonna be wrong.
I mean, the tracking would have to be way, way off for us to be wrong here. And the fact that the critics hate it so much too. Like, man, I watched Jeremy Johns talk about it yesterday, and he hated it. Like, he really hated it. And so they showed this 5 minutes in by the way, they're asking, is Wizard's brother Asian too? No, Wizard's one of those adopted Chinese babies. Usually that's just girls, but like they thought he was, so that's why he was.
An Asian man told me that one time that I was secretly adopted. My parents were lying to me.
So my family's Sicilian, and my brother is very dark, and so when we were kids, I convinced him that he was an adopted Mexican child. But
that's cruel.
Yeah. I'll tell you the name that I told him his real name was when we're off the air. But so what was the point that I was just making before we got off?
If we're wrong about this movie, that would be the equivalent. That would be the equivalent of a weatherman saying it's going to be a beautiful day at 80 degrees, 0 humidity, and a hurricane strikes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what being wrong about this is. We're not going to be wrong.
We're not going to be wrong. I don't think we are. I mean, the critics hate it. The projections are what they are. The trades can't even defend it. Only shill accounts like Star Wars Holocron are really going to be able to defend this at this point. So, look, there you go. And on Monday, guys, so are you going to be on Pro's stream tonight to discuss?
I should be.
I will be too. So tonight we're going to have, I'm going to have the M4 cast tonight at 8:00 p.m. And then after that, we are going to do, the Pro show at 10 o'clock, where we're going to be doing a live review with Pro tonight. So make sure you guys tune into that. With that said, Wizard, I think it's time to go to the chat. All right, let's see what the chat is chatting about out there today. We have got over on my channel, Douglas Nutt saying, Chef, that is a journey the Wilt must take alone. Talking about Wilton's Rings of Power one. And then, of course, we also had Valiant saying that the new video on the real cost of Mando just dropped. Go check that out on the Valiant Renegade channel when we are done here. Lady Gamester for 199 says, Mando may do better since Holiday and no other movie. But no other movie except for Michael, which is still drawing people into the theaters.
Except for Michael and Obsession and Sheep Detectives. Like, there is actually competition.
Yeah, and good movies that people like, that have good word of mouth. The only way that you're not going to have a catastrophic second weekend drop for The Mandalorian and Grogu is if there's good word of mouth. And right now there's not good word of mouth.
If the trades can't muster up the courage to run defense for this, that means it's bad, because they know that they can't lie about it. It's that bad.
Over on your channel,
Woodsy for a 10, thank you for that, says, please quit reporting how much the movies made. Instead, report the total ticket sales. I know it's semantics, but it makes a huge difference in the narrative.
It does.
Okay.
You're right about that. And if that was readily available information, we would 100% report it, but it's really hard to find that out.
But also, we have to come from the angle of there's statistically just a lot less people going to the movies.
Right.
So the ticket prices are up. The number of people going is lower. I'm not saying you're not wrong. Marv just said it. If we had the data, we'd be saying it, because it would be could you believe this? There's no one going. Like, if we had the number.
And I always talk about butts and seats. You know, like, butts and seats as a metric, I think, is important. The problem is they hide that information. They don't readily report it the way they report box office numbers. The other reason we report box office numbers is because we know the break-even point. And to say whether something succeeded or failed depends on whether or not it made money. If something breaks even, it technically succeeded, because it means you didn't lose money. Not losing is a win. But yeah, I mean, we might be completely wrong. This movie might make $1 billion, and then we're going to be sitting here with egg on our faces, but that's fine.
Marv, if I can, I'm going to share my screen real quick. If we could pull this up. This is one of the last times we can enjoy this together as a community. Okay. So just this intro from a video that came to us. This is from Mr. Grizzy. Got this clip. So let's play this.
Okay.
Mandalorian and Grogu doesn't have the same level of excitement as the return to Star Wars after a decade of no mainstream content, and the return of the original trilogy characters vibe after Star Wars after 30 years. I think it will.
Are you high?
I think it will. I think the hype for the Mandalorian and Grogu come May will be that high.
High as a fucking kite.
So, perspective, how ridiculous.
Oh, yes. And then he goes on to say, here, I'm looking for the clip.
Look at his background. I wonder if he's going to be impartial about this. That is the background. That is the background that you have when you are trying to get invited to a Hollywood premiere.
Star Wars has never been more alive. We've gotten more Star Wars content, great Star Wars content, in the last 6 years than we've gotten ever.
What?
Ever. Come
what
on.
Is Master Roshi going to say about that? Is it bullshit? He's going to say bullshit, probably.
Grogu's in it. Just because kids are like, Mom, I want to go see the Grogu movie.
For those of
no kids are saying I want to go see the Grogu movie.
That information, the fact that 4 of the last 5 Star Wars movies have made $1 billion, and you add the fact that they're taking their biggest show, The Mandalorian, and putting it into this movie.
I'm sorry.
You add Grogu, who's their biggest money-making machine, makes them billions and billions and billions of dollars every single year of merchandising. It's honestly crazy to not think this movie will make $1 billion.
Dude,
this guy says it's gonna hit $2 billion.
Dude,
end quote is
Like, no, seriously though, 4 out of the last 5 movies made $1 billion. Okay, so what movies are? So you're saying the sequel trilogy, Rogue One, and the sequel trilogy and Rogue One. The sequel trilogy made progressively less with each movie, and one of them lost money.
Marv, we are so wrong. It's not only Not only are we seeing one hurricane roll in with Mandalorian and Grogu, we are seeing it is the day after tomorrow. It is the end of the world level wrongness, and this movie's going to hit $2 billion. Okay, we're going to hit $2 billion. You could take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank, brother. So, all right, guys. Do we have? I'm seeing if we have anything else in the chat. No, I think that's it. We are going to head out now on my channel, guys. I am redirecting you guys to a stream that I hope you will all. It doesn't start till 11:30, but I want to make sure that you stick around for it because it's going to be good. I am redirecting you guys to plot holes and payoffs over with Danny and Caro because you guys are going to have a fun time with that show. It's a great show, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Whose channel is it?
I believe it's on Comics and. Are you gonna redirect there too?
I'm trying to set it up.
Yeah, I think because it was just I think it's on. I think it's on Danny's channel.
A really hard channel.
Just look up plot holes and payoffs.
Plot holes and payoffs.
It's a great channel. You guys should all subscribe to it because they do amazing work. They interviewed Bo DeMeo recently, and that was a really good interview.
Yeah.
So hold on, I'm gonna I'll put the link in the private chat for you, Wizard, if that helps.
I did get it. I got it.
Okay.
So we're good. We're ready on our side.
So,
We're gonna raid too.
Yeah. So we are gonna raid. Let them know in the chat. Come in the chat and be like, Culture Crossfire raid, and then hang out for their cool discussion about writing and whatnot because it's always really fun. I did that show just last week, I believe, and it was so much fun. So
shout out to them.
Please subscribe to Danny, subscribe to Caro, because they are good people who deserve all of the success in the world. All right, Wizard, anything you got to plug for today before we end?
We'll be back. I'll be on. I think I'll be on the WDW Pro stream tonight. We'll review the movie. Tomorrow we'll be on FNT, and then on Saturday morning we'll give a proper Fake Cast review. We'll do our stream on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for Fake Cast. And until then, I mean, we've got videos dropping all the time, and that's pretty much it here. We good to go?
Yep. Yeah. So for me, I will be on the Pro Show at noon. Then I'm going to see this movie. Then we will have the M4 Cast tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel, and then the Pro Show again at 10 for the live review. So yeah, that about does it. Wizard, you want to close us out?
Until next time, my friends, create, innovate, inspire others to do so as well. And for the love of God, cancel your Disney Plus subscription.
Thanks for watching the Crossfire.
Caught up in the fandom flame. Crossfire climb. Nothing in pop culture safe. The wizard